Hey John, Bill here. We're down here where the Konica unit is, and we're going to try to give you a demo here. And this is Kenny Vetter, and he's going to be the one. And we're going to start out showing you how we build a document with software for now. So we'll go to that now.
Okay. What we've done, we've opened up your PDF here of the guts of the book. We've got it here, so we're going to the print, and we'll select printer we want, and then we'll hit properties, and that's going to pull up. And just a second, there we go. Now we've got this is actual properties of the printer itself for the Fiery, and we're just going to select paper type. I know I've got fine paper in there, and media. Come over. That's 81 to 105 is the weight of the paper. We're going to print on 11 by 17. Now layout. The way we're going to do this, they've got, if you're just going to make booklets, it's as simple as hitting booklet. We hit launch wizard. Okay, it's just a normal layout booklet. If it was something like a calendar, then you could say it's top binding this way, or if it was somebody that wanted the book to open on the right, we could select that. We'll go back just your normal booklet. We'll say next, and we want to print on both sides of the sheet, so we tell it next. And we know we're doing on 11 by 17. If we wanted to find the cover, if we wanted to print a separate paper for the cover, we'd hit that, and then we could tell it all the different settings. So like you were wanting this on 80 pound, if we had when we get your separate document, we can select that. But right now, since we're just doing it all on one type of paper, we're going to stay here. If you wanted to leave some gutter, you can move the image to the center of the sheet, or we're just going to do it to the spine. And next, and it tells us everything we've selected. So we say finish, and we go to finishing. Okay, we want a center. Let's do. We want a what they call multi-hat focus. We got multiple sheets, and then we're going to center staple. That is it. All we need for this job. And we hit OK. And we're going to do one book. We're printing all OK. And it's sending it to the Fiery now. And it's sending each individual page at the moment. And it's just watching the workstation where it's just about sent all the pages. I think it was 27, 28 pages what you had in the book. Keep watching there. Okay, now it's all sent. We should start seeing in just a second. This will start flashing when it's receiving the data here. Right now it's in the Fiery. On this one we have a what they call embedded Fiery, which is mounted on the back of the machine here.
John, the actual unit you're getting is the 6501, and it will be equipped with the more powerful external Fiery. Here it comes.
Yeah. Okay, now you can see it started blinking, it's getting the data, and it's already started to rip it and send it here. The book's going to come out on the bottom right here. This finisher will actually do up to 20 sheets of paper or an 80-page booklet. And then here's your finished booklet come out.
Inspect the quality. John, you wanted to know about the tightness of the fold. That's how it is as it exits. And then the quality of the print, as you've seen from the previous samples that we've sent you, it's a very, very high quality color. spot on match is good, and we'll show you some of that in a few minutes. And this is your report.
And with the Firies, you can actually go in and get a spectrophotometer. You can actually go in and calibrate. If you got the customer sent this raw book in, you can read that color and see exactly what it is. If they came in and said, I want to match this color, you can take your spectrophotometer and put it on there and read it, and the Fiery would actually tell you what color that is, and then we could recreate that color.
Okay. All right, John, we're going to show you a few more features of the Fiery, probably, and send it out on the next video.
Okay, now we're back to the what's called Command Workstation. It's a free download that comes with the printers, with the Fiery. And what we've got here is I've got the Konica C8000 on the other side of the wall, and then the 7000 we just printed on. And just by clicking on the these are two different rips, and just by clicking them, so if you've got two printers, you can have both of them loaded. You can see what's printing. Here's my printed jobs. Here's all the different printed jobs I've done on the 7000. I can go back to 8000, and it shows different jobs I printed on the 8000. So you can actually see what's printed here. If you what people normally do, I'm sure you do it, is go back. Okay, this is what we just printed, so I go back to properties. And let's say I forgot, to tell it to center staple. Well, I can go back to that same job and pull it up and say, okay, now let's center staple it. Or I looked at it, I printed one out, it looks good, it's perfect, it's ready to go. I need 100 of them. So now from here I can just go back and say, okay, give me 100, and hit print, and it would print out 100. That way the job is already ripped, it's already processed, and you know it's right, and so you don't have to go back to the original file and go back through all, because you could actually, go back, and people have done it where you go back to the original file and open it up, or it's already open, but you would, then you might forget to staple, and you print out 100 books that aren't stapled. So that's why you can go back to the original job that you just did, and like I say, you know that it's good, so you can just come back to properties. And now if you wanted to change something, you can change it all right here. I was talking about, I mentioned a minute ago about calibrate. We can just by simply right here hitting calibrate, and it's launching. There's two ways to calibrate. One, we can do it right off the glass on the scanner, and the other is with a spectrophotometer. Normally we sell the well, said it was launching. Here we go. Normally, the EFI ES1000 spectrophotometer is what we normally do. There's 3 models of X-ray if you already happen to have one of these, or the color cal is where I was saying we can calibrate off the glass. But what we do is select and we'd print. I can't do it now because I don't have the spectrophotometer hooked up, but we would print out it would print out a grayscale of the different colors, and then we'd measure it and take the spectrophotometer and measure, and then go back to your original. It takes everything back to the defaults. I have some customers that will calibrate before every job, some once a week, some once a day. What it does, it takes everything back to the default. So if you print a job today and you come back a week from now and print that same job for another customer, it will get your colors back, so your colors will match, repeated time after time. You can, if you've got a job that you're over at your workstation and you want to process it. Let's say we pull this up. I can actually go and computer's a little slow. But your job here back, if you just wanted to hold this, you can print it and hold it, which means it would just be over here in your held queue. If it's a job that you run for a certain customer, or that you run 100 a week or something like that, you can actually hold it here. So I could, like this fits a normal, I can put it on hold, and now it's over here in the held queue, and it would just stay here, and I can come back and say, okay, it's a week from now and the customer needs another 100 of them. So it holds everything here in the Fiery. And again, you can come back if you want to change the paper. If you printed on the wrong paper, you want to change, to just plain paper, just a plain 20 pound. We can come back and change all of that. The auto tray, you can leave it there. So if you need to run 2,500 of something, and on the auto tray, you can load the same paper in all the trays, and it will automatically pull. So one tray runs out, it'll automatically switch to the next tray. While that tray's running, you can go ahead and start reloading the empty tray. So it's continuous running. The same with the toner. If one toner's running out, you're getting ready to go lunch and you see the toner's about to run out, you can actually go ahead and load toner while it's running. It doesn't stop the machine. It's 4:30 in the afternoon. You want to fill it completely full of paper and toner and take off. You can do all that while you're running.
Mention air assist.
We can go over look at the paper trays, but it does have air assist. It blows just kind of like a offset press. It blows air on the sides to help separate the sheets. When you set the, we'll go back to the machine, but when you set the paper setting there, it tells it how much air that it needs to blow, and you can manually adjust that. And I've done it to where it actually will blow too much air and cause a double feed. The machine's pretty smart, and it knows how much air it needs for thick and thin papers. Okay, now back over on the machine where we've talked about your paper settings. Just by hitting, we can tell it, here I just have the 3 trays, but you can put the 3 more on the side. So we can come in and say tray 1, change set, okay, fine paper. The difference in fine, plain, and color specific really doesn't affect the print. The reason they've got that is so you can, if you've got, say plain may be the guts of the book, fine may be the cover, and it just so it designates when you're at the when you're at your workstation, and you can select so it knows where to pull the paper from. Color specific, again, it doesn't affect the print, but let's say you've got a sheet of yellow that you want to stick in the book. So when you're at your workstation, you can tell it to pull that color specific, and so it knows to pull from that tray. The weight, again, it'll go up to, if we on the bypass with the bigger trays, we can go up to 300 GSM,
which your machine will be equipped with.
right? Which is I think technically it's about 13 point. It's a little heavier than 12 and not quite 14. But this is where you get into, again, 2 different things. One, printers, whether it's a big printer, production printer like this, or a little laser printer on your desk, it's just baking the toner onto your sheet. And this is telling it that it needs to get a little hotter or run just a little bit slower to bake that toner on to make sure that it's a good set, and plus gives you better print. So we're back to this is what we have in it now. You can do oddball sizes if you want to do a custom size. It'll do tabs, paper, you can print on tabs. We've got a standard. Of course, it is a copier. It has the document feeder on it. Holds 100 sheets. Automatic duplexing. If somebody comes in and says, "I want to make a book," you can tell it. It's simplex, duplex. If you got one-sided and you want to turn it into 2-sided, you can tell it which tray you want to pull from. We make booklets from here, making on the copier. Just pretty much everything you can do from the workstation, you can also do here, making copies. It comes standard. Whoops. It does come standard scanned to email. You can also have it where you can just put documents into your document feeder, and you can set up a folder on your computer, on your workstation, just scan something in and send it directly to your desktop, so you don't have to send it to email and then open it up. And it all comes standard. If you got an FTP site that you use frequently, you can set it up where it scans directly to it. Of course, like I say, scan it to the hard drive. If you've got documents, there's some form that we have offices that have certain forms like timesheets that they print all the time. You can scan documents to the hard drive on the printer and save them here, and then just pull them back up here. Like I say, you can set it to scan back to your PC on your desktop.
You can run it from Mac and PC.
Yes, the Fiery comes standard to do both that. Trying to think of anything
Let's
else.
look at some paper trays and some insides.
Paper trays here. We don't have the air assist on here. We can do up to 256 grams per square meter paper here, which is pretty thick. And you see it is friction feed. Just gonna walk right over here real quick. All right, now we're back over. There's two booklet makers. One is the smaller booklet maker that does 20 sheets of paper on an 80-page book. This is a bigger booklet maker. It will do 50 sheets of paper or a 200-page booklet, and this one also has face trim on it. What it does, how it's able to fold 50 sheets, or 50 sheets, is it'll run out, it'll print about 3 sheets, and it will fold them and drop them on the anvil, and then print more, 3 more, and fold them. So it's accumulating all the sheets, because it'd be very hard on anything to fold 50 sheets all at one time. So that's how this is able to do it. And they come out, this conveyor actually comes out. I do have customers that do a lot of booklets, and they'll take this little cover off, because after about 7,500 books it will say, to take them off the conveyor here. So I do have customers that just, take this off, and they'll put a box out here, just let them drop into the box.
And John, this is not as many sheets, but that's kind of the fold tightness. And this booklet maker does have the face trim.
It does have face trim, yes. Okay, back to the feeder here. The machines do have air assist. As mentioned earlier, the blows on the side. You see the little air thing. So as the stock comes up, it blows air to help separate the sheets for the feed. You can see they're very heavy built, a lot of metal. You don't see any plastic in here really, other than just the little pieces here. It's all metal. Very heavy duty. Okay, now we're into the main print engine and fusing unit itself. You see it just very simple, just slide in, one little lock. Paper path here. In the main fusing section here. If we go over, mentioned the toner earlier. Toner's just loaded right here on the side. It's just as simple as that. And there's a little notch. And there's the toner bottle. You can, if you care, some people care and some don't about recycling. They are recyclable. It's just a matter of printing out a prepaid. It's free to you. It costs you basically just a label. But you can print out a prepaid label and send them back to Konica.wmv. They don't reuse them, but they do recycle them. And that's free. Like I said, it just basically costs you a label. Talking about scanning, you can put in a thumb drive and scan to a thumb drive if you want to scan something and take it with you. Or if you've got something, you can actually print direct from the thumb drive. You can put your thumb drive in here, and pull it up on the screen, print directly from it. Of course, probably going to do that because you've got your workstation close by, but if you wanted to, you can do that. Booklet maker here. It's the smaller booklet maker that does the 20 sheets. You just get your 2 staple heads right here. Holds 5,000 little staples in each one. And it's just a simple, just locking that in. That's that. That is the 20 sheet booklet maker. You can add hole punching to this. Of course, when we were talking earlier about the post inserter, you can actually take this cover off, and then there'd be a post insert loaded here, mounted right here, which you do pre-printed covers. We'll have that all in the brochure. It's got a picture of it.